It is not a well-known fact that millionaires or even billionaires still go into debt. Now, that may sound ridiculous because they already have a good amount of money in their possession, so why would they still need to get a loan? Let's take Mark Zuckerberg, who financed his $5.95 million home with a 30-year mortgage. While he can afford to buy a dozen $6 million homes with his net worth of $15.6 million, he still chose to get a mortgage. The reason why he did this is that it's free money. Now, that statement may become a little too hard to absorb, but don't worry, I'm gonna explain this method in this video. Hi, welcome back to Grayson Finance. In today's video, we're going to talk about making money with debt in 2022. The inflation rate in the US is in the range of 2.5 to 3%, and basically, any money you borrow as long as it's below the inflation rate is free money. To make it clearer, let's take, for instance, that you borrow $1 million with a rate of 1%. The usual rate of return on the savings account is 2.4%. This would mean that depositing $1 million in another bank will make you get $24,000 a year, while the money that you need to pay to the bank that lent you money is only $10,500 a month. If there's a way that can make you borrow money without paying more money in addition, there is no need for you to take out your own. This method, however, wouldn't really work with just a small amount of money because you're only getting a very small amount back too. But if you do this with a very large amount of money with the percentage ranging from 0.5% up to 2%, this method can bring you tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you're a business owner that can easily afford $1 million house, it's a bad decision to buy a house. Why bother buying when you can finance it for 1 or 2% with the rest of the money being invested in your business and can possibly give you a return of up to 30%? If you are not up for that, you can always invest your money into an index fund. This is much more profitable the longer the duration, let's say 20 or 30 years. The average return of an index fund is 8% when you look at its history of returns. Instead of buying a house, take a mortgage instead and invest your money into an index fund. This will then enable you to get money from the percentage difference. Everything comes down to opportunity cost. In the case of Mark Zuckerberg, it wouldn't have made sense for him to buy the house if he's only getting a 1% mortgage rate if he gets a mortgage instead. This method of Zuckerberg isn't a unique one. Elon Musk did it with a $61 million mortgage for 5 properties with a monthly payment of $180,000. Even Beyonce and Jay-Z did it with their house worth $88 million, having a $149,600 monthly payment. The couple put in a 42% down payment and financed the other $52.8 million. In reality, the more wealth you accumulate, the better ways you can find to earn more money. However, not everyone is able to get a 1% mortgage. In America, the usual rate is around 3%. Even with this rate, however, I still discourage buying the house instead of financing it. You might be wondering why the wealthiest are offered very low mortgages than the rest of the country. The answer is because they are rich. When you are super rich, there's some assurance at least that you will not default on your loan. When unexpected situations arise, you can sell a part of your business to pay back the mortgage. With that in mind, banks are always assured that nothing will go wrong if they lend money to you, thus the lower mortgage rate. The second reason for the low mortgage is the good credit score from paying the mortgage on time every month. You can easily borrow from the bank each time you may find yourself in need to when you have a good credit score. In essence, you are building a good relationship with the financial institutions, established with trust as the foundation. This relationship can also be built in swap positions. A bank can offer a very low mortgage rate in order to establish trust and a strong relationship with wealthy people. Banks offer this to rich people so that when the latter need a loan from a bank, they would go to the bank that offered them a low mortgage rate and not the competitor bank. Everyone wins in the end. The lowered mortgage rate are adjustable. They can also go up anytime because of various reasons. But let's face it, these super rich people can easily pay back their mortgage if ever a bad situation presents itself. Most people view debt as something that is all evil. This is because most people are exposed to people borrowing more money than they can afford to pay back, and end up wasting the borrowed money on unprofitable things such as lavish entertainment. For instance, after graduating and getting your degree, you will soon be slapped with the realization that your student debt is a heavy responsibility. After you calculate the years you will need to work hard for in order to pay back your debt, you will then come up to the conclusion that debt is very bad, especially when you're not able to default on it. It is extremely risky to play around with debt. One small mistake, you will find yourself dealing with very bad consequences. It is very important that we are able to distinguish bad debt from good ones. Debt can ruin your life entirely, as well as your family's. When you do know how to use it wisely, however, it can make you very wealthy because it can act as leverage. For instance, when you buy a phone worth $10,000, it is recommended you sell it for something a little higher, let's say for $11,000. With that, you just made $1,000 as your profit. $1,000, however, is not really that much money. If you use leverage, you will need to go to the bank, borrow $990,000, and with your $10,000, you will have $1 million on you in total. With that money, you will then need to purchase 100 phones from your supplier priced at $1 million in total. You will sell all that phones for $1,100,000. After that, you will need to pay back your $990,000 plus a $10,000 for interest. That leaves you with just $100,000 minus your $10,000 in the beginning. The total profit you earned is $90,000. With that method, you just made money while you don't have that much money in the beginning. The bank profited from the loan and you made a profit earning from your sales. This formula, however, is not really recommended to apply at an extreme level where it's not regulated by the government. One of the most pressing examples as to why this isn't always efficient is because of a crisis that happened back in 2008. Investment banks made use of leverage with the aim of getting very high profits. The strategy completely backfired on them. Why, you ask? Well, they made mortgages accessible to everyone, regardless of their credit score. People who didn't have a good credit score weren't even ready to commit to monthly payments. Eventually, a lot of people defaulted on their mortgages. Because of this crisis, home prices crashed and the 40 years worth of buildup on the home prices were just put to waste almost completely and quickly. While this method can become risky, this is still one of the major tools used by wealthy people to earn more money. Every investment is accompanied by risks, and this one is too. But if you know what you're doing, you can build up your fortune almost instantly. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to keep you updated on new helpful videos like this one.